Afarmers is the home of Africa Farmers Club and by extension African farmers. The whole idea behind farmers is to transform the image of an African farmer from a producer into an entrepreneur, somebody who actually does not think about how to produce onions, but how much is going to be used to produce onions, and so that way then they can be able to form their vision, they can be able to look at their farms as businesses, and they can be able to know when to engage with the market. What we have done is that we have developed a hub where farmers bring their information, bring their questions, their challenges, and other farmers are there to come out and help. Facebook has not just been instrumental, Facebook has been a working partner for myself as well. And Facebook has actually transformed the way we relate, an open platform. My background is in tech, and I know you cannot build a platform that can reach out to so many people. Initially, it was just a few farmers in 2 counties, Machakos County and Kajiado counties, but now it has transformed. We have a stronger membership from Nigeria and Zambia than even Kenya itself, And the reason behind this is the messages I get from different farmers across Africa. And then something interesting came to my mind, and I thought about using the camera. Every time I visited farmers, I would be able to post in the community, in the group, in my own profile, and just share the story of the farmer that I visited. And then I asked myself, why wouldn't I get this information, develop it in a way that other people can be able to benefit? If we go for a training, how do we capture that so that those who are not, the farmers who are not able to come for that training can still benefit? And hence the birth of Afarmers Media. Our mission as an organization is to help farmers, African farmers, to attain knowledge and grow profits.
Welcome to another edition of the Mid-Morning Show. This is your host, Nona Siali Kadima. Today we are talking avocados. Today we want to talk about avocados. What is avocados? And how can we be able to get the best yields out of avocados? It's a challenge. We've seen so many farmers starting to do avocados, and we keep on asking ourselves, how can we best be able to support these farmers. This is your big money show coming from Afarmers Media, where we help you as farmers connect, learn, and grow. I have a special guest here who actually even influenced me to be able to buy avocados by just seeing his photos, how he kept on sharing his farm, what he's doing. He even guided me how to look out for the best avocados seedlings. And not only that, but even how to plant. The other time when I planted and I started sharing that, my avocado seedlings have started drying up, him together with a group that is the WhatsApp group called Avocados Farming, they were able to guide me so much. And that is what I would like to share with you, the same knowledge. And our guest that is here, he'll introduce himself. But those who are joining us, let us know where you're listening to us from. This is a mid-morning show, and we are going to talk about avocados. Avocados. And what a day to talk about this. We know it's been raining all over. Let us know, have you planted avocados? What do you think about avocado farming? And we will be sharing much more again about this. I would love to introduce our guest. Our guest has joined us. Collins, if you can see and hear me, please join in and let us know. Tell us about yourself and tell us more about avocado farming, and then we get into the details.
Thank you very much, Noah. My name is Collins from Bomet. Bomet is so Bomet is the main part that
just speak a bit louder. Speak a bit louder.
You can hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, let me come up again. My name is Collins Ngatich. I'm an avocado farmer from Bomet, the eastern side. So Bomet East is the leading, is the new upcoming avocado grower region. So initially Muranga has been leading. So Bomet is coming, and Narok as well. So personally, I did practically, personally, when we started avocado farming, we started it as an environmental conservation project. So what we used to do is that when farmers, because we live near the source of the Mara River, those sides of Mao. So when WWF and NGO came here and said, I want you guys to plant trees. So farmers were saying, how can we plant trees and they will not give us any income? So later on, maybe to fast forward, if avocado was introduced at a very subsidized price, most of everyone actually, almost 80% failed because nobody actually believed that the avocados could have market or could be purchased or could be taken up. So later on, when avocado was brought in, because people first would say who will buy this, and but to fast forward, avocado gives you income. Avocado is also it helps to increase the tree cover, because we are talking of 10% tree cover in your farm. Most people will not plant, let's say, blue gums or any other exotic trees. So if you plant this, you still have more tree cover. You'll get food. You'll from prunings, you'll get firewood, and still you'll be able to get income because you'll be selling your avocados to the market. So maybe that's
so it's an all-round avocado. Is there's no wastage of avocado?
Yeah, all around.
Thank you, Colin, for sparing time and talking to us. And as we're getting into deeper, first of all, we'd just like to know what gave you the interest of growing avocados? How did you develop the interest of growing avocados? And then can avocado do well anyway? But let's tell us your experience a bit first before we get in deeper. Why did you start thinking of growing avocados? And then from Bomet all the way to Isinya, which you'll tell us more, how did you get to that? Tell us part of your experience as we for those who are joining us to just get to understand and see what other things they can also learn.
Okay, thank you again, Noah. Now, when I started, because my father is a climate change witness, his name is Joseph Cones. So he was part of the team that spearheaded the introduction of avocados in Bomet East. So when he planted his small lot, so I said, how about uh, give me some piece of land so that I can also do it on my own. I practice, I fail. Because by then, if you're taking care of your dad's avocados, it's not the same as if when you're taking care of yours. So luckily, we were given some small portion. Actually, I planted everything avocado. Uh, my wife complained a lot that you're now taking over the farm. So initially, that was when I started. So by then,
Uh-huh.
so initially on planting avocados, we used to sow seedlings from everywhere. By then, because it was like a platform for me to learn. So I had free land. So for me, the next thing is to look for where can I source the seedlings. So I used to go to Maranga, I've gone to Nairobi, I've gone to JK, what? I've even bought from the streets. So after doing that, most of them some would come, some would fail. So you realize that when you come to my initial farm, you realize that it has several mistakes. Then there's a mistakes of spacing. There's mistakes of what kind. I need to know how house looks like. So you'll get that. You'll have photos there. You'll have giant house. So when the when the buyer comes in, you know, you think that everything will be sold off. So they will tell you, I'm not taking this. I'll take this. I'm not taking that. So that is now, you can imagine 3 years down the line, and you're thinking that you're going to the market, and you're told, no, this one is not going to go. This one is not going to go, or this one has spots. So when I did that, I also got some other piece of land and started researching, because I went online. I went to all the forums in social media. We have African farmers, we have digital farmers Kenya. So everybody there, most people would had sell. People will come saying, I'm selling this, I'm selling this. So my approach was, how can we all learn? So that's when I also created a page. Because when I started, I created like a Facebook page, not a Facebook page, a WhatsApp group for common farmers, whereby we only help each other on how to grow and care for avocados. So, because I've been also a victim whereby you try to join a group, you are told send 50 bob or 200 shillings for a WhatsApp guide. This guide will not
Yes.
show you how to grow avocados and all that. So, first, the very basic is avocado does well in well-drained soil. So well-drained soil is, let's say, if you are not sure, it's the soil whereby coffee or tea can grow. And if it's those sides of maybe Kitui or Kambani, it is, most of the soil is well drained, but you need to irrigate because there is no frequent rain. Also, the pH has to be at least medium, because
Thank you. Thank you.
soil pH has to be medium, because if it is too acidic.
So thanks, Collins. Before we get into the science out of it, I just wanted to find out which are the areas that you have seen farmers actually benefiting by growing avocados. Which are these specific areas that of the country that farmers can grow avocado well?
At the moment, we have Muranga, Nyeri, most parts of the central is viable. Then there is also Kisii and Nyamira. We also have the southern rift part, that is Kericho, Bomet, those are counties. We also have Wasingishu. Wasingishu also is best. So I think most of these parts, like now, I think the parts that have more space is Narok and Wasingishu. Those are the people that they should now come in, because you realize most of the other parts are saturated. So we keep educating our farmers. For example, in Bomet,
Mhm.
let's say Bomet, eastern side, no, not east, the central part, central and Konoin, those parts are mainly tea growing areas. And I can talk
Hmm.
about tea farmers because also we are tea farmers and tea growers.
Yes.
So
Yes.
there's a lot of different, let's say, comparison. If you have an acre of
Hmm.
you have an acre of avocado, you'll see the kind of
Hmm.
labor because if you are to do business, let's say you're in business and you want to grow 1 acre of tea, there is that amount of kilos. How much kilos will you produce of tea in 1 acre? What is the kind of labor? How labor intensive is it? And
Hmm.
how long will it take you to start breaking even? So,
Okay.
so if you're comparing tea with avocado, you know, if you plant also tea, you'll never intercrop anything. For
Mm.
because everything now will be anyway. Let's not talk.
Yes. So,
We're taking
so
too long.
yeah. So as we talk about avocado now, we have seen very many avocado varieties that are out there. There's Hass avocados, there's Fuerte, there's traditional, there's quite a number. Which is the most profitable, and why do you say that this is the most profitable? Which is the most profitable avocado variety to be grown, and why?
Currently, the most profitable ones are Hass. Hass is deep green when it's ripe; it turns whitish. If you zoom in and have a check the fruit, it has some dots. It's kind of rough and with some golden dots. So that one has one of the best price. The reason being it has a better oil content, and if you're comparing, it has a better shelf life, and oil content. If you're going to extract it for, let's say, you want to refine it, it will have more content compared to the kienyeji one. Now, the other thing, the advantage of us, it has more shelf life. When you harvest, it will take, let's say you are exporting by ship, it will take, you see, it will take about a couple of months before it reaches the destination of the shelves. So that's why Hass was embraced. Initially, also, we also have Feta. Feta also is another export avocado variety. But in terms of price, the price is lower if you're comparing both. If you have to do, if you have to compare both, but the conditions, it grows in the same conditions. But now the advantage of intercropping both, because you can't also plant like 100% house. You're supposed to do 10% of filter in your farm. So if you're buying 100, you need to have 90 filter, no, 90 has and 10%, which is filter. Now filter is has is type A and filter is type B. uh, what actually happens is that a plant will be male in the morning and the other female in the evening, and the other type will be the other way around. Let's say when this one is male, the other one is female. So the science,
Just say that. Okay,
so
I've never had this. Just repeat that again. Repeat that again for the sake of our viewers. Just repeat that again.
uh, the reason for intercropping Fuerte and Hass is
Yes.
Fuerte will be used to cross pollinate now. Now, when you cross pollinate, it will be
Mm-hmm.
better yields in terms of weight and the quality of fruits. The other thing,
Mm-hmm.
the, 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 the success of pollinated flowers, because avocados usually put in very many flowers and they will drop almost all of them. So you can still
Mm-hmm.
maybe add in boron or something else, but at times the pollination does not happen. So to maximize
Mm-hmm.
the
Mm-hmm.
pollination, you will
Yes.
need to plant both now the 10%, because pollination will happen. Let's say now, since I was giving you the both like has this, okay, we have with the varieties we have Fuerte, Pinkerton, and Hass. So you realize that Pinkerton and Fuerte are type B and Hass is type A. And the way I was saying, one will be male or female in the morning, and in the evening it will be the other, let's say if it is male in the morning, in the evening it will be
Mm-hmm.
male. So the other type is the other way around. So to
So
maximize,
that's a natural process. Like during the day, one is male, and in the evening it's female, and the other way around.
yes. So it will. So when the other one is male, the other one is female. It means that pollination will occur continuously in the morning and the evening. So the bees are as well will be there.
So thank you for that. That's very interesting information. For those who are watching us, just let us know if you have ever heard about this. And Collins, do you think this information, all the farmers who are growing avocado are aware about this information?
Um, I don't think so, because most of them
Uh-huh.
just say I'm only interested in us because it has the best price. But they actually don't know the function of this photo, because you know, at the end of the day you want very hazy fruits, and you want very
Mm-hmm.
clean, and you want, like, when it flowers, like
Mm-hmm.
most of your flowers will be fruits, not just
Yes.
they drop or they fail to fruit.
Yes.
Yeah.
So if you look at the information that now you're giving us, do you think that farmers, where can farmers get this information? Because this is information that probably you have experienced for some time. You know, how where can farmers get this information, Collins? Because it's the whole idea behind this discussion today is how to get the best yields. But you're giving us some insights. You know, later on during the show we will talk about some of the basics. We'll talk about how do you prepare the hole that you're going to plant avocado, which is very critical as we talk about soil health. And this week, as we end the World Soil Day celebrations, this is something that you'll tell us. But just let us know, where can farmers get this information? Where did you get this information? Was it through research, or how did you get information?
Okay. Basically, the internet is it's actually full of most of this information, because when you go, you're crowded with information. So I think you being able to narrow down, because personally I attend most forums. I would pay to be able to get more information, and the kind of information that I will get, mostly I share it for free. Now, the reason being, I was also inspired by Grace Ngugi. She's also an avocado farmer. She learned from several mistakes, and she shares her story, because she does not want you to go through the same pain. So, same as from my end, the kind of information I get, I will share it, because most people, like, if you check on my WhatsApp or my inbox, my emails, everything is full. So at times maybe I might take time to get back to you, but I always almost get back to everyone who asks ABCD, because you realize that most people will repeat, how much is this, or how do you do this? But I really like that, because you really have to ask a lot of questions in order to be able to learn. And also visiting, or farm visits. That is another thing. Go visit any other farmer that is close to you. Ask them, how did you do it? Because issues of spacing. If you want to technically see a spacing of 7 meters by 7 meters, and a tree that is, let's say, 8 years old, how wide can it grow? Because an avocado tree is supposed to grow horizontally, not vertically. So if you are to do spacing, and if you have land, how do you maximize on the space that you have, so that it will be able to, because first thing, the most important thing is like free, because as one of my other mentors in this avocado is one Wanjala. Wanjala is very informative, a guy that has very good information about avocado. I'll invite him one of these days to talk to us, but he's in our avocado group. So what I learned from him is that there are three things that God gave us for free if you're an avocado farmer. First, if you have land, thank God. If you have land that is arable for avocado, that is a positive. Number two is light. So if there is light or sunshine, that one, as long as you have even at least 3 hours of sun, that one is enough for you to grow avocados. The other thing is wind. Wind will do pollination, and the bees will do the pollination. So those are natural. The other thing is you can be able to use your farmyard waste to be able to add more. Well, when you mulch or you put decomposed decomposed stuff below your tree. The science behind it is that kuna vitu inaitwa stomata. These are some small holes below the leaf. There is the photosynthesis that happens on top of the leaf through the sunshine. Then there's the stomata. It will take in
Mm-hmm.
from some small holes from the what from the leaf. So when you put
Yes.
organic matter below your avocado tree, this one will be absorbed. So also issues of training a plant so that it does not have several branches from the main stem. We have the main stem, which is called the central leader. So the
Mm-hmm.
central leader has to be pruned shorter, and now we'll have lateral branches. So the lateral branches
Okay.
are now the main structures that will support the sub branching. So
Okay.
pruning also, I'll be able to share some links on where to be able to get that kind of information, or
All right.
still you can always ask. Just look out for Collins Ngati Chapo. You can shoot any question. I can share links. Uh, my WhatsApp group is full, unfortunately, but I've set up a Telegram one so that we can accommodate everyone.
Yes.
Because uh, most people will keep. It takes time, because even before somebody makes a decision, even the
Yes.
other farmers, some are very skeptical. They say, I still need more information. I still, before they jump.
I am one of those farmers. You can remember when I was people asking you, where have you bought your seedlings? Where have you bought? It's because one of the reasons I can say, and I can not, I can actually defend farmers, is because there has been a lot of information, a lot of hype about avocados, and we ask ourselves, what if the export market closes? And that's something I'd like us to touch on. But and thank you for this information. So those who are watching us, this is the Farmers Mid Morning Show from County 034, and we're talking to Collins Ngetich. Collins is taking us through some basics, things that even myself I'm actually shocked for once, and I'm just listening, because things that he has mentioned that has really caught my eye, caught my ear, is that you can, the avocados, if you're planting, you have to mix both Fuerte and Hass, and then Fuerte helps in cross pollination, and sometimes one variety is male during the day and one is male during the evening. So that is how the pollination occurs continuously. This is very interesting information. Collins, let me divert you from where you had we're going there first. You've talked about bees. What is the importance? Because this is something that I think farmers need to also really know and think about. What is the real importance of having bees when you're actually doing avocado planting? Because avocado trees have very many flowers. How do you make sure that each and every flower is pollinated? And what is the importance of bees in doing this? And which type of bees, by the way? I hear there's a stingless bee and there's stinging bee, and how many bees?
Okay, now about pollination. Pollination happens, let's say, within the plant, like cross pollination, self pollination, and also maybe the use of bees, insects, because that's why we are told, if you are to practice organic farming, you don't spray that. Something that will harm also other insects like the bees, the butterflies, or even birds. So what bees does, it's also very important to be able to, if you have a very secure space, because bees as well, they are very dangerous. If you actually don't care of them, if you don't take care of them, they can cause ravage in your farm. So what you need to do is that you have to set up a secure area. Like for us, since we have segmented some piece of a portion of land to be able to, let's say it's a small wood lot, or
Colleagues are being asked if you can. I'm being asked if you can just speak a bit louder, please.
Okay, okay, okay. You can hear me now clearly.
Yes, yes.
So I was saying, what we've done is we've been able to have, let's say, when at times you can have land, and maybe you don't have a forest or some covered area whereby you can put in bees or set up, uh, let's say, if you can't set up, at times the easier one is if you have trees or shades, you can easily put beehives below it. But now, if it comes to, for example, when it comes to setting up beehives, you can be able to do the traditional ones, or for example, there are several vendors that do very nice beehives, and I can be able to refer anyone who needs specialized beehives or even training on how to keep bees. And basically, the main importance, like if you are, I can't call it intercropping, but maybe rearing bees at the same time planting avocados. These bees, they will be your assets because first they will give you honey. Number two, they will do pollination in your avocado farm. So when if your land is sloping, I think this is another information that is also very vital, because if my land is slopy, your beehive should be below or should be down towards the downside, not upper side of the land. For ease of
So, sorry, just repeat that again for clarity of the farmer viewers.
let's say if my land is slopy and
Yes,
my avocados on the upper hill, so
yes.
where you will construct your beehives will be below, okay, the lower side of the farm. Reason being,
Ah,
it will be easier for the bees to come collect their pollens and move them downwards, as compared to going down and moving upwards to go to the hives. So always construct your bees uh, on the lower region of your farm, and it has to be
okay.
secure, because at times children are cheeky. They can start playing around with them, and it's very dangerous.
Yes, yes.
Mm.
So just in terms of summary, how many beehives are in, first of all, how many plants fit into 1 acre? We've had some saying 400, some saying it depends on the spacing. So let us start first. What spacing is the best ideal? I know some farmers feel pain of growing many, then chopping some later on. I am one of those farmers. So what is the correct spacing? And then how many, and what is this spacing that you're talking about? How many plants in an acre, and then what is the spacing?
Okay, now in an acre, I would say an acre is 4096 square meters. That is 4096 meters square. So within 4096 square meters, if you use, let's say, because we have several spaces. First, like you said, there are some farmers who want to reap the first few years, then they chop. There are some, because that will apply if you want to lease land. Let's say if I want to lease land for, let's say, 10 years. So for me to be able to maximize on the land that I've leased, I'll have to put very minimal, let's say a smaller space. But if the farm is mine and I want to reap this, because an avocado can go up to about 90 years, so that's about how many generations are those? So it doesn't die easily, because when it grows big, you prune it, it regenerates. So what happens is that the more now the years go, the more the tree grows big. So initially we started from 10 meters by 10 meters. Some have gone 8 by 8, 7 by 7. So because land also is becoming very minimal, we've gone all the way to 3 meters by 4 meters. So now these 3 by 4, these are the people who want to do the first initial phases. Let's say by year 8, they start chopping. Now by year 8, that is where now most of the trees have started. But now if you're doing this small spacing, it won't reach even year 8. Let's say at year 6 there, they will start shedding. So you'll have to start pruning them. Maybe rather than cutting them, you can prune them. Let's say you prune one line so that it becomes more. The other ones will be, let's say, they will be shorter. The others will be bigger, because the advantage, the reason for this is that you have to have maximum sunlight all the way. That's why even when you plant, you have to prune it to in a way that it looks like a wine glass. So the bottom side, the tree has to come this way, and then it has to have a hole, let's say, on top. So you don't leave it like a Christmas tree whereby it is triangle in a way. So you have to chop the top to make sure it allows light. So you'll have light maybe in the AM. By midday, at least there's light going through from top. And maybe in the evening there's light, so the tree will get light from most part. So when you plant most of them, you realize that by the time now your orchard becomes productive, ndio unakata. So you start chopping off your trees when your farm is productive. Is now it's very painful for you to be able to chop one tree. So an ideal space, because I'm not saying this is in practically what I've seen on my own experience. An ideal spacing will be 7 meters by 6 meters, being 7 is row and tree to tree will be 6 meters. The other spacing will be 5 meters by 6 meters. Okay, usually you have to, when you're doing all this, you have to factor in space whereby if you want to take in, let's say, let's say manure. If you're harvesting, where will you pass? If there's farm machinery, where will the farm machinery pass? Because maybe you've done large scale and you want to go and pick fruit from somewhere inside there. So you'll have to leave some big space. So let's say an ideal space will be, that's why I give the 5 by 6. So if you do the 7 by 6, you'll have about 100 trees per acre. You do the 7 by 6, you'll have about one, and the 5 by 6, you'll have about 140 trees. Now,
so that is an acre. So you say, sorry to cut short. So if you do 7 by 7, you have how many plants do you have in an acre?
For 7 by 7, you'll get 80,
yes.
80 trees. By 7
so
by 6,
80 trees make one. So 80 trees in an acre.
That is if you do a spacing of 7 meters by 7 meters.
Okay.
We do a spacing of 7 meters by 6 meters.
Mm-hmm.
You'll have about 100 trees in an acre. That is 7 meters by 6. So if you do 6 meters by 6 meters, you will get 114 trees. If you do 6 meters by 6 meters, 6 meters by 5 meters, you'll get about 140 trees. So those are the different spacing. Now, some people will have small land, they want to maximize on it. Some people will have bigger chunks of land. Some people will want to use mechanization, let's say farm tractors, to be able to prune, to cut off the grass and all that. So you will consider all that.
So now let me ask you, Collins, thank you for that detailed information. Now, I wanted us to find out, now we want to now talk to a farmer who has already selected, got the right seedlings, which I know you will share with us as well, right seedlings, and now they want to prepare the land. You know, even as the spacing. I don't know if, Collins, you can hear me?
Yes, sir. Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah, so you can imagine, so this farmer wants to start planting. They've already got the spacing 7 by 7, like myself. I'll use my example, 7 by 7, 7 meters by 7 meters. For those who are watching us, let us clarify that, not 7 feet by 7 feet, 7 meters by 7 meters, that's plant to plant. You can do 5 meters by 6 meters or 6 meters by 5 meters. So now let me ask you, Collins, now this is the land, we've got the right spacing, kabla tuchimbe mashimo. How do we do? Because that is the root base, that is the beginning. And with that, I'll be giving out a gift later on. Just tell us, how do you begin to do this? What do you look out for? Is it the color of the soil? Is it the quantity of manure? Is it fertilizer? Just take us through tunaanza kuchimba mashimo.
Okay, now before even we start maybe digging and like initially we gave let's say a general coverage of where you can grow avocado successfully where the soil is good. So usually avocado does well in well-drained soil. So well-drained means that it does not have any waterlogging because avocados are really highly affected by waterlogging. So if you plant in a, let's say, a flat area and there's waterlogged soil, let's say clay soil, you're definitely going to face you're going to have some challenge maybe in the next rainy season because the floods will come, the water will come and they will be stagnant there, and now your roots will be gone. So first of all, it has to be well drained. If it is not very well drained, it has to be at least slopy because, but that one has, you'll have to do a lot of, you'll have to, let's say, add more sand to your soil to be able to have it more waterlogged. But first of all, when you're identifying the best, it has to be soil that is well drained. Well drained soils are soils that take in water. They do not retain water for long. The other thing you have to, if you're not sure, let's say it was a tree, mainly if it was a coffee farm or a tea farm. These ones usually we apply a lot of top dressing using synthetic fertilizers. So it is very wise. Again, you do soil test. So if you do a soil analysis, it will show you the kind of pathological structure of the soil. You will see what kind of nutrients it has, what it lacks, the kind of acidity or alkalinity it has. From there, you'll be able to, if it is acidic, you'll apply some alkaline. So most of our soil, like the tea growing zones, they are very acidic. Or even the coffee growing zones, they are very acidic. So you'll have to put some alkaline or lime. Usually you can put lime, agricultural lime, to be able to bring back the acidity soil to at least normal. That thing is the depth of the soil because the place could be rocky. The level of maram or the level of stone, at least if you have at least 2 feet of soil, it will be enough for you to be able to grow your avocado because within the 2 feet of the soil depth is where the roots will lie. That thing is you need to identify the best source of you need to plant the best seedling, and I'll be able to share with you where I can get the best seedlings, where I get my seedlings, and where I recommend my farmers. Because I believe we have several tree nurseries out there, but I'll give you where I get mine. The other thing is that land preparation, you'll be able to you're supposed to have at least a windbreaker because if your land is bare, you need to have maybe plant trees along the source of wind because when during flowering or when it is fruiting, and when there's a lot of wind, you are born to have several, let's say, flowers or fruits dropping. The tree will be shaking, and if the tree is scratching the fruits, it affects the quality of the export quality of hars that you're supposed to get from your trees. So ensure as well there is adequate wind protection. The other thing is if it is, because for us we depend on rainwater. We've never irrigated any of our avocados, so some places don't have enough rain, so you should get maybe alternatives of being able to you should you should be able to have alternatives of getting sources of a source of water that is let's say drip.
So now, Collins, let me just ask one question, and I think my producer is also asking me to just ask you to raise your voice. So just one more question that I wanted to find out. No, actually, two questions. Number one, you have said that you've never irrigated. is it possible to grow avocados in Kajiado? I'm asking for a friend. Is it possible to grow avocados in Kajiado and do irrigation? Will it do well?
Yes, Kajiado, those from Kajiado, I know there are some farmers who've done Kajiado all the way to those sides near Namanga. There's a big farm, I can't say who, because it's a prominent person. So they've done a
Yes.
very big farm on your way to Namanga.
All right.
So what they've done is that they've put irrigation because I think rain there's no adequate rain, so they've done drip irrigation. So if you have at times you can, if you are able to do irrigation, like for Kajiado now, you don't have to use the high-tech ones. You can be using that jerrycan or watering can. Naeka, you have a watering session. I'll be watering, let's say every evening, like once a week I put 20 liters, or twice a week I put, let's say 10 liters within every 3 days, like a 10 liters, and you mulch. As long as your soil is okay, it can grow.
So how much water? You mentioned about 20 liters, 10 liters. How much water does an avocado plant need per, let's say, per week?
Per week, by the way, they are very tolerant. It can even survive with a few, let's say. Okay, now this one depends, because there are some areas whereby the sun, let's say, where there are some plain areas whereby the sun is let's say the levels of heat are very high compared to our region. It's a bit cooler. So you realize that even if you put, let's say, between 1 to 5 liters, it can take even 1 week. And let's say you have mulch. But some areas, it is prone to evaporate very easily. That's why you'll be able to maybe now I think the humidity level you'll have to test of your soil, because if it is the soil, let's say kind of sandy soil, if the soil is kind of sandy, you realize that when you water, let's say even 5 liters in the side kind of soil, it will evaporate easily or quicker compared to loam kind of soil. So no specific quantities of water, but you realize that most people will do between 1 to 5 liters. Some will do between 5 to 20 liters a week. So it depends on.
And that is ideal. If you are to give it 20 liters, that's ideal. That's okay.
20 liters is when and you have mulching. Mulching in 20 liters even is a lot of water. So you can do between.
I think I am safe, because that. So now there's something that I wanted to mention before actually going. I know this is some product that you have seen me using. It's called Okwamaji. Yes, we'll be talking to you about it and how you can be able to get this as well. But I wanted to ask you something that is very critical. You've got your seedlings, you've prepared the land, you've understood the fertilizer, the manure. I think, I don't know if I missed it, but there's a question that has come through. Can you put fertilizer as you're planting, or do you put fertilizer after a certain period? The synthetic fertilizer.
Yeah, when you're planting, you can put the synthetic one, either DAP or NPK. You can use that one to plant, but you have to confirm.
What quantity per plant? Sorry.
Fast, because you put DAP is very acidic compared to, let's say, NPK. So you have to know whether your soil is acidic or not. So if it is acidic, you use NPK. A handful is okay. So a handful.
Which NPK? We have the 1717. We have the Mavuno planting. Some of us use the government fertilizer, so Mavuno planting. Or do we use which other one?
Okay, the ones that we've used is the ones from Yara, Yara Power. So Yara Power is one of the best you can use. It will the effects are seen very easily and does not it works well in almost all types of soil. So
Okay.
Yara Power, handful, battery. There was another question.
So now, yes. So after already said you've already put the seedlings, some seedlings start drying up. Should farmers get worried about this? Some seedlings start drying up. Should farmers get worried on or what or what could that be a problem? What problem could that be? Sorry.
Okay, now the reason why some seedlings could be drying up is first to be able uh, to get, let's say, almost 100% survival rate is get the best the right seedling. We get our seedlings from Isinya Roses in Kajiado, and there's also another branch in Molo, Kirenget. So for farmers, maybe this region near Kajiado, they can get from the main one. For those people in Rift Valley, they can get from the Molo branch. So we have they have two branches at the moment. And we also planning to set up also another sub branch in Mulot. So Mulot is the southern part of Rift Valley. So most farmers in Narok have said we want seedlings to be closer to us, and we are trying to be able to get them closer to them. So personally, I've taken the initiative to be able to take these seedlings to the farmers. Farmers would book. We see on what kind of regions they are in, and we try our best to be able to organize logistics. So at times, uh, like the seedlings are not usually like available immediately when you place the order, because most people will book and wait. So it is very important. You're planning for April, you start now. You don't have to wait for April and you say, I want 100,000 seedlings. You not get them because everybody else had started planning before. So the best time is now. Uh, call the senior rosters, tell them you want seedlings. They will be able to and pay for them. At least you'll be able to, you'll know you're waiting to go and collect your seedlings. The other thing is that this kind of seedlings, they are very tall, about 1 meter tall, very well mature, and at times you buy the ones that still have that tube, that the grafting tape. They
Yes.
end up dying. They'll end up dying. These ones are well healed. They will release them at least when they are 1 year old. So you not get them when they are still below. And that is the best thing that I like about them. They are soilless. They don't use soil to propagate their seedlings. So the reason for this is to avoid soil-borne diseases. And let's say if you are feeding the plant anything that to be able to develop the root mass, because before when you're going to plant your avocado, it has to have the best or the most number of roots, so that by the time you plant them within a month, they are shooting. So your seedling has very few or very weak roots. It will take time to grow. That thing, since it is soilless, it's like sandy. So when you plant, it does not affect the development of the roots. The soil, like I've personally, from my experience, we used to buy in, let's say, Muranga and some other parts of the country. You realize the red soil, when you go and plant, let's say, when there's this red clay soil that they use to make seedlings. So this red soil, when you bring it, it is when it is dry, it is very compact, and when you try to break it, it will break the roots. When you add more water, it becomes even more tough clay. It holds the roots. You would plant a seedling, it will stay for almost 1 year being dormant. It doesn't grow, it doesn't germinate. You put water, you put manure, you weed, it stays too stunted. So And definitely, if you dig out that avocado, you'll realize that kapot whereby the roots are there, it is still firm, ngumu kama mawe. So you have the best initial seedling that has very loose soil. Usually they use cocoa pit and some other stuff. So it's sandy. And even when you break the tubes, you realize that everything within that tube is roots. You'll not even see soil. Everything is roots, roots, roots everywhere. So it's like a sponge of roots. So when you plant that one, it immediately picks up. So they
So,
sell their seedlings.
so as you talk about this, so of importance is I'm actually being told time is against us. This is a discussion I think should have been a whole day discussion, probably even organizing for us to come and visit you and visit and just get to see what you're doing. So we will plan for that as well. We will try and see if we can be able to plan that before the end of the year. Just to come and have a few farmers in Bomet, just to see what you guys are doing as you plant avocado. So I just want to do a recap, probably, is of what you've said for those who've been watching us. There's one thing that you've mentioned that is very critical. Farmers have to test their soil to know the nutrient levels, the other diseases that are there, so that they can be able to know what quantity of fertilizer to use, especially the pH levels, to get to know what are the levels of acidity that is available. Is there. The other thing you say, the spacing should be either between 7 meters by 7 meters. I'm trying to see if I'm a good student, or 5 meters by 6 meters, or 6 meters by 5 meters. It is viable. It is actually important to be able to plant both fuerte and Hass avocado. And what the reason because of this, those who've been watching us, is that you can be able to, they can cross pollinate, so pollinate each other. Something that got my attention was that some varieties are male during the day and some are female the evening, and so that it enables pollination to continue throughout the day, both day and in the evening as well. Water quantity, I think it is going against what we had been told, probably, or what we thought is important. Between you said between 10 to 20 liters per plant per week is enough. So I'll tell my guys to reduce watering. I think we've been overwatering as well. Something critical is a lot of, you need to have manure. You can add some synthetic fertilizer if you need. And so Collins, as we wind up, growing avocado for export versus growing avocado for value addition and like avocado oil and other things, which one is more profitable to a farmer? And how small can a farmer start? Can a farmer start with 10 plants, 20 plants? What is the good age that farmers should start this avocado?
Okay, thank you. The number of trees that you can, at least a substantial number of trees that you can keep is 20. So if you have 20 trees, it will give you some good income. There are two types of, if you are growing avocado, you can do, let's say if you are growing for maybe as raw material for oil, some will use fertilizers, some will use any synthetic matter. For us, we grow organic avocados. So organic ones, we do not use synthetic fertilizers when we're adding nutrients. We use we make our own farmyard manure, and mainly we will, for example, we will use like goat manure, anything, any other, like we'll collect leaves, we dig a pit, you collect leaves, any farm waste that comes in, you put in there and mix it up. So I think another day we will get somebody to be able to train people on how to make your own farmyard manure, which that is what you use to add up on nutritional levels. The other thing is we have also, like when during flowering stage, usually we have other nutrients that have been tested that they are organic, that you can be able to use. Let's say during flowering, let's say if you want to, let's say after flowering, and then maybe if you want to increase the weight or the sizes of the fruits. So usually we have companies that have been certified to be able to, like these supplements organic supplements. They do not add any chemical. They don't have any chemical traces. You can be able to use them to maximize on pollination, to add boron, because boron also is a very vital element in fruit development, and let's say basically flower to fruit development. That thing is.
Thank you. Thank you, Eric. I'm now being pushed out. Thank you very much for your time. I think this has been very informative. We have learned a lot. I know it is short. We will be able to get more from you. I know, I am very sure. And we will learn much more. I know, I am very sure that we'll be able to learn much more from you. So one of the things that I would like to say is that we will be sending to you some of these products. At the end of this show, we will send to you some of these products so that you can use for your avocados and other and even to give out to other farmers. We are grateful. These products have been given out by Organics Limited, who make regenerative soil products that can help farmers be able to reduce cost of production by being able to retain water. They have products like Koamaji. They have Asili, which helps in bringing back the quality of the soil. They have Atli, which is humus, which actually is a very interesting product because they say 1 kilo of it is equivalent to 30 tons of manure. So we will be sharing to you a package that will be sent to you immediately after this show. So we'll get back to you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Collins, and I hope that will get to visit your farm and just get to understand so much more about what you're doing, and especially how you are helping farmers to be able to benefit and make sure that they are getting the best out of their avocado farms. Thank you once again, and have a brilliant day, Eric. Brilliant day, brilliant, Collins.
Thank you very much, Noah. Thank you.
Thank you.
Much.
Thank you very much as well. So those who are watching us, been watching us, this has been a Farmers Mid-Morning Show where we have been talking to Collins, who has been telling us so much more about avocado farming. What do you do about avocado farming? And most importantly, how can you be able to make sure that you are getting the best out of the avocado farming? So as we end this, we please request you to send us your comments, send us your questions. We are planning to have some farm visits, and we're definitely sure that Collins will invite us in one of the farms, and we can be able to learn more about how to be profitable while growing avocado. This has been your mid-morning show. Your host, Noah Kadima. Remember to follow us on our social media channels. Remember to continue keeping safe so that you can be able to avoid being infected by coronavirus. Something that is also very critical that we'll be talking about in the very near future is how can you be able to use the safest ways in terms of safe use of chemicals when you're growing avocados. We will tell you more about this. Thank you for having tuned in, and we would like to wish you a brilliant day.
Thank you.